Hello, this is Group 80 discussing the new road developments in Hamilton West. Now, for a bit of background, a new hospital is being built in Hamilton West by the City of Hamilton, and we have been contracted to design a new road for potential businesses that might pop up around said hospital. For context, the hospital is being built in a rural area, nearby suburbs and a highway, and our design is in its very preliminary stages. In our initial workshopping of ideas, we used a traffic simulation to determine how fast cars would be going through our intersection. And we found that given traffic lights on a timer, there's often a very big bottleneck for cars going through it. So in the future, we decided that we would design our road without traffic lights.
So now I'm going to highlight our design goals. First, we're focusing on maintaining smooth traffic flow to avoid congestion rather than prioritizing speed. Next, the integration of self-driving cars is essential, ensuring they can function well within the intersection design. Safety is a top priority for us. We want to ensure that vehicles move at appropriate speeds through the intersection. We also want the design to be accessible to all forms of transportation, whether it's vehicles, cyclists, or pedestrians. Finally, because the hospital is nearby, we're placing a strong emphasis on ensuring that emergency vehicles can access the area quickly and without obstruction.
Some potential issues we considered during the design process were whether or not emergency vehicles could access a road, which was incredibly important, especially near a hospital. Um, Whether or not those with disabilities or people who can't drive, say elders or students, um, could access our roads. That's very important. And also whether or not our speed limits were safe, because if our speed limits were too fast, even if we have only self-driving cars, it would be incredibly unsafe for pedestrians, cyclists, and so on. We also had to consider the long-term impacts of our design. Say the traffic congestion caused by our design, which might impede emergency vehicles from getting to where they need to be, or self-driving cars becoming more prevalent, and whether or not they can assimilate. Um, and also further expansion to businesses that may cause greater traffic or require more cars to be flowing through.
I'm going to present the key constraints that shaped our design decisions. First, accessibility is critical, especially for a hospital setting where individuals with disabilities must have easy access. We must also ensure that emergency vehicles can reach the hospital without obstructions or delays. Another important consideration is supporting local businesses by ensuring that roads are easily accessible for foot and car traffic. Finally, our design must follow Hamilton's road and traffic regulation. Failure to do so would make our design legally invalid and unfeasible for implementation.
When it comes to stakeholders, we have plenty to consider, but our main concerns come from the stakeholders with the highest influence and highest interest. When it comes to influence, our big three stakeholders are the two governing bodies because they determine the rules and regulations of our design, as well as the shareholders of the hospital because they determine the financing that goes into our design. Next, when it comes to interest, our biggest interest stakeholder is wildlife, as they have the potential to be displaced by the new development. Next comes the municipal government, since our development intersection is going to be a very large focal point of the city once it's built. Finally comes the hospital staff, emergency services, and anyone really related to the hospital because this design will be used for their daily commute, and so they would prefer a quick, efficient, and safe design.
For our team, some of the proposed general solutions we agreed upon was having a roundabout layout or traffic circle. This design can help reduce congestion and simply improve the flow of traffic by eliminating stoplights overall and minimizing delays and improving overall safety. Having a dedicated bus lane that integrates with Metrolink is something we must take into mind for public transit. This allows for a more seamless transportation process that reduces congestion with transit and overall traffic. Lastly, a mixed-use, low-speed four-way intersection promotes pedestrian safety while maintaining efficient traffic movement. With lower speed limits, we can create an accessible intersection that fits the current design demands.
After considering our options, we decided that the traffic circle would be the best solution, as traffic flow would be unimpeded. Even if you're moving slow, you're still moving. Um, There'd also be many possible solutions for emergency travel. We could send the emergency vehicles underneath the traffic circle, or over top of the traffic circle or have their own lane. And in general, traffic circles are also much safer as their lower speed limit makes it less likely for fatal crashes.
For our next steps, as we move forward from the preliminary design phase, we want to work on three key actions. First, finalizing our simulation after stakeholder analysis is crucial. Our design must include all needs and concerns for all users, so by incorporating stakeholder feedback, we can further refine our simulation for real-world conditions. Secondly, getting approval from the City of Hamilton and Ministry of Transportation, which is essential in ensuring our design meets all regulatory and safety standards while keeping our design objectives. Finally, diving deeper into concrete analysis and design. With future approvals in place, our team can further refine technical aspects, assess long-term use, and prepare for potential implementation of our design.